To the leadership of Israel, I say this: humanitarian assistance cannot be a secondary consideration or a bargaining chip. Protecting and saving innocent lives has to be a priority. As we look to the future, the only real solution to the situation is a two-state solution over time. My entire career, no one has a stronger record with Israel than I do. I challenge any of you here. I'm the only American president of Israel in wartime, but there is no other path that guarantees Israel's security and democracy. There is no other path that guarantees that Palestinians can live in peace with peace and dignity. And there's no other path that guarantees peace between Israel and all of its neighbors, including Saudi Arabia, with whom I'm talking. Creating stability in the Middle East also means containing the threat posed by Iran.
So as the onslaught in Gaza continue, as Israelis authorities have decided that the Palestinians living in Gaza starve to death, Western countries, the European Union, is trying to convince all of us that somehow they are doing their best to provide the necessary aid needed by the Palestinian people. I do not understand why they have to take this route, but maybe they have a reason for that, and maybe they thought that this route is going to be what gets more aid into Gaza. But believe me, I am so skeptical about that. But let's just watch the video first and then hear what the whole thing is all about.
A ship belonging to the Spanish NGO Open Arms is getting ready to leave for Gaza via a new sea corridor carrying humanitarian aid for the people of Gaza. It'll depart from the port of Larnaca in Cyprus, where it's been loaded with food. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen says the EU will help coordinate the relief effort alongside the US, United Arab Emirates and other countries. Now, this follows President Biden's announcement that the US military would build a floating pier off the Gazan coast to facilitate aid deliveries. Here's more from the Commission President.
And today we are facing a humanitarian catastrophe in Gaza. And we stand by the innocent civilians in Palestine. And this is why Europe is financing a major humanitarian aid effort for Palestinians in Gaza and in the region. We are now very close to the opening of the corridor, hopefully this Sunday. And I'm very glad to see that an initial pilot operation will be launched today.
If you are someone like me who is really following this whole thing in Gaza, you would ask yourself, like, how hypocritical can the Westerners be? How much hypocrisy can they really display in front of our own very eyes? There is a road into Gaza. There are hundreds of aid trucks stuck in Israel and in Egypt. Those things cannot get in because the Israeli authorities won't let those trucks in. Rather than the European Union putting pressure on Israel to let in those trucks, they will rather embark on another journey of sending aid by sea from Cyprus. Isn't this a delaying tactics? And remember, there is no workable port in Gaza. So how do they intend to dock the vessel and offload all these aid items? How do they intend to do that? Like many experts have said, the road into Gaza by trucks is the most effective one. So what the European Union should have been doing is convincing or putting pressure on Israel to let these trucks in. Not pretending like they are doing something whereby they are doing nothing. Like I said in the previous video, and I will say it again. In this world, my brothers and sisters, there are but equal people. Do not mind what people in power will tell us. Do not mind what politicians will tell you. Do not mind what the Europeans say or the Americans say. All the talk about all of us being equal on the surface of the earth is just BS. All the talks about all of us being the same is totally BS. About all of us having the right to life is just BS. All those things about freedom, about democracy, about human rights, they are just BS. They run along these lines when it suits them. When America is trying to pursue an agenda, they will bring all this to the limelight. We want democracy, we want rule of law, we want freedom, blah, 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 blah. But when enforcing all these things will go against their interests, they won't do it. The conflict in Gaza has shown us that. I'm sure many more people are trapped under buildings in Gaza, buildings that were struck down by Israelis' air forces. And the European Union, the Americans are the one providing ammunition to Israel. And Israel is using the ammunition to bomb the people in Gaza. You can see so much for human rights, so much for peace, so much for democracy, so much for Western leaders telling us how morally superior they are, only to turn a blind eye to human rights violations or to war crimes being committed by their friend, by their ally in the Middle East. So, my brothers and sisters, this one should be like a wake-up call to all of you guys. Just so you can understand that there are only but equal people in this world. And do not for a second believe that if you are facing a problem in Africa, the Europeans, the Americans will come to your aid. And if they manage to come to your aid, you should know that the reason they are there is not because they want to help you. There is a bigger game in play. So to you guys out there, what is your take about this new venture by the European Union to send aid to the people in Gaza by sea, knowing fully well that this method won't be effective because there isn't any workable port in Gaza? And secondly, why are they not putting pressure on the Israeli authority to let those truck aid that are in the Rafah crossing, that is in Egypt? Why? And why are they not putting pressure on the Israeli authority to remove protesters who are blocking aid delivery in Israel? Why are they giving a blind eye to Israel and a deaf ear to Israel for all their crimes they are committing in Gaza? Don't the lives of the Palestinians in Gaza matter? Don't they? Please share your thought and opinion with us in the comment section. We'd like to hear what you think. Please kindly like this video, subscribe to this channel. That helps us a lot. We shall forever be grateful to you. So thank you very much for doing just that. And like always, see you in the next one.